They just wrapped up a rally about SB 329 here in the state of California in Sacramento, where they're pushing the transgender, the whole homosexual agenda onto children and not allowing parents to opt out what the children are being taught. Hello, what's your name?
My name's Greg Burt. I work for the California Family Council here at the Capitol. And so, yeah.
Okay, so tell us about SB 329.
It's the California Healthy Youth Act. It was passed a couple years ago. It was mandated comprehensive sex education to 7th and 9th grades. That's what's required in all schools, including charter schools now, not just your average public school. And then you can also teach in elementary school, but that's up to the district. And this, besides, we've had sex ed in classes for decades, but this particular curriculum has to be LGBT inclusive. So they have to treat sexual relationships between opposite sex couples the same way they treat same-sex couples. So all the sexual information you had about between boys and girls, now you got to include the same type of sex information from same-sex individuals. So you can imagine all the new stuff that kids are going to be learning they never...
Is that not going to be a bit confusing to some of the children that are really young, say 6, 7, 8, 9 years old?
Well, especially when you're starting to teach this in elementary school. I'm getting calls from parents around the state. There's a particular school district in the Bay Area where they introduce this stuff, teaching graphic sexual content to 4th graders.
Wow.
And parents said this just is not age appropriate. It's it wasn't the old puberty talk we used to have. They're actually teaching kids about sex itself, anal sex, the whole gamut.
Wow. All right, what's the sign we have here?
Just don't let the state destroy your parental rights, and that's one of the reasons I'm out here and got involved, because I'm a single father. I advocate for education and the laws that's going on with various different things, that the parents don't seem to have a voice in it, and when the parents speak up, they're not listened to, or they're shut out of various school board meetings. So that's how I got involved. I educate parents, the ones that don't know how to have a voice.
What are the the consequences or penalties, if there are any, for a parent that says that they want their children to opt out of this part of the sex education that they're trying to push onto the children here in the state of California?
Sure. Now the new law specifically designates what sex education is and what it's not. So if you're just talking about gender or transgender information or gender fluidity or having there being multiple genders out there, or the fact that the new philosophy is that gender is not based on biology, it's based on how you personally identify, and there's an untold number of genders you could be. Now that is not sex education according to law. Neither is any talk about sexual orientation. Identifying as a homosexual or a lesbian, that is not sex ed either. Only when you mention actual sex organs, that's sex ed now. And there's still an opt-out, but it's only for sex ed, not for any gender curriculum or any sexual orientation curriculum. So that's the way they can go right down to the 1st grade.
Wow. So if parents say that I don't want you to teach them anything that's related to same sex, regardless if it's sex education or not, are the parents allowed to say that they don't want their children to be taught that in the schools?
That's right. If it's sexual orientation, there's no opt-out for that. But when you introduce Harvey Milk into 3rd grade and say, Harvey Milk, the first gay elected official, was honest about who he loved, they haven't, when they talk about his particular sexual desires, because that's what sexual orientation is, what your sexual desires. That's not sex ed yet, because you're not talking about the parts yet, right? So you can introduce that stuff into. There's no opt out for that. So
right.
that's going in,
wow.
And actually right now they're taking this new sex ed law, which we talked about, Healthy Youth Act, and they're now redoing all of the health curriculum for K through 12, and so the Department of State Education Department is currently going through creating a new framework. and the framework guides curriculum for the next decade. And so that's currently in process. It'll be finally voted on in May by the State Board of Education. So that part of what we did today, some of us went down and testified against it. And so they're reframing all the health curriculum starting in kindergartens, and what they're introducing in kindergarten, not actual sex ed, but they're introducing transgenderism, multiple genders. Part of the curriculum encourages, drag queens to come into your class. Introducing kids to the fact that there are multiple genders, and you don't know. You might depends on how you feel.
So when they bring the drag queens into the classroom,
that is not sex ed.
That's not sex ed.
No.
So do they have to inform the parents that they're bringing a drag queen into the classroom?
They do not.
They do not. They can bring them in. There's no opt-out, no notification, nothing.
Nothing. That's what the new health curriculum says, and currently that's what it is. It's not sex ed.
So what happens if a parent finds out that they were bringing drag queens into the classroom, and they go to the principal and say, when you bring these drag queens to the classroom, please do not have my child in there. I don't want my child exposed to this lifestyle or this behavior. What would happen to the parent, or what would be the outcome of that, or suggested outcome?
Well, if you got a good principal, he'll notify you, but it's up to him. He doesn't have to.
So what can parents do?
Well, parents need to pay attention to what's going on in their schools, right? I mean, if a bunch of parents in one particular grade said, we don't want this to happen, and we're pulling our kids out, or they can, you have to protest, you have to say something. There is so much silence and fear around saying something about these issues that's why this stuff is rushing in. Each school district has the right to decide when and what is age appropriate. So school districts have the local authority to decide what they teach and how young they teach it. So we have to demand that from our school districts. They don't have to, the law, even the sex ed law, actually puts in the hands of parents. They only have to teach it in junior high and high school. It does not have to come into elementary school. Right? But parents aren't standing up. They're not watching at what's happening. They're not paying attention. They're trusting their school districts to do this. They've been way too trusting. Stop trusting your school district and what they're teaching. Ask to see the curriculum.
I think really why it's happening because, like I said, others are pushing and they want this, and it's not going into the play that, hey, the other side, such as students and parents, don't have a say in it.
So parents, if you really want change, you have to get involved in your schools. You have to find out what they're teaching your children. You have to ask, what is the curriculum? You have to see what they're pushing onto your children without your knowledge. Thank you for watching. My name is Will Johnson, West Coast correspondent for Infowars.com. Hello. Infowars is under sustained massive attack, like no other network has before in the history of this country. Go to Infowars.com and Newswars.com and share the articles. That is the best way to join this fight. And for the latest live videos, go to Infowars.com/show. Help us in this mission. To launch the new renaissance, go to InfoWarsStore.com. And if you're on an Android device, go download the InfoWars app today for free. Remember, we are listener supported. We don't get billions of dollars from the government. We don't get billions of dollars from Silicon Valley or George Soros with NGOs. Check out the highest quality nutraceuticals and supplements at InfoWarsStore.com. Join us in this fight. We need your help. Thank you, and God bless.
When it comes to rebuilding your energy, convenience is key. While coffee, candy, and other sugary products can give you a short boost, the crash can leave you more tired than ever. Turbo Force from InfoWars Life is a powerful mix-in energy packet that utilizes vitamins, amino acids, and extracts used for hundreds of years to provide you focus, clarity, and a boost of energy on the go. Simply take a packet, mix it into the indicated amount of water, and enjoy. With 14 servings per box for a 2-week or more supply, this is the formula to stock up on whenever you need a boost. Perfect for work, in the car, or at home. Turbo Force is the ultimate answer to a sluggish day. Don't let your day slow you down. Perk up with Turbo Force at InfoWarsStore.com